Hey guys, I'm going to be doing a pod test today, and today I have the Fatalii. This was grown for me by my buddy Brendan. A bunch of us in the Tokyo area had a kind of growing competition this year actually to see who could grow Fataliis pretty well. They're meant to grow pretty well in hot weather, but I didn't do too well with them. My plant is very tiny, not put out any flowers, not put out any pods. We've had a particularly wet summer that might have something to do with it, but probably not, because a couple of the guys who joined the competition with me are doing a hell of a lot better than I am with it. So cheers Brendan for another pod. So the Fatalii is from Central and Southern Africa. They are yellow. There is a red version of Fataliis, and I believe there might be some chocolate and white versions or different colours in between. But originally there was a yellow and a red variety. Straight up Fataliis are yellow, and they have this beautiful spiky shape to them. I cut this one in half earlier and I actually managed to cut it in two for the first time. So you have to look at the picture beforehand to get a good idea of what it looks like. The heat on them, the Scovilles are rated, I think I read 175 up to 400,000 Scovilles, which puts them around, if not a step up from habaneros. But I cut this open earlier and it smells like a super hot. And I licked my fingers after cutting it, and it doesn't burn like a habanero. It's very aggressive, the burn on it, as I'm sure I'm gonna find out in a minute when I eat this. So anyway, let's have a... Yeah, there's what the inside looks like. There's not much in the way of placenta. Fair amount of seeds, medium thickness on the flesh. Smell of them is smell of them reminds me a bit of habaneros. That kind of fruity, punchy, I guess it's capsicum chinense smell, because yeah, again, this is a chinense. But it's that kind of standard smell I expect without it being in kind of realms of a super hot. The smell on it is pretty pleasant. The smell itself has a little bit of heat. It's kind of irritating my throat actually, if I breathe in deeply. But it does smell fruity. These are meant to have a very citrus aroma to them. I'm gonna see whether they do or not. So I'm gonna pull the seed cap off. Yeah, and here goes. I'm expecting this to be a bit warmer than I expect it to be on a work night, but here goes. Wow, that's instant heat. That heat is very quick. Almost from the minute I started chewing it, it was hot. I'd say it's already much hotter than a habanero, and it's still climbing. Even though they're meant to be about the same Scoville wise. But I kind of had that in mind. Some people have said, although they're mild, they burn like a ghost chili. They're very aggressive, and I'd have to agree with that description. At the moment, I've only swallowed this thing, you know, a few seconds ago, and it is, side of my tongue is just throbbing. And it's really on the back of my tongue. It's leaving my throat alone at the moment, but it's really just doing this to the back of my tongue. Flavour on it. It tastes hot. It's although it smells a lot like a habanero, it doesn't have that flavour. Wow. I'm not sure it's as... I wouldn't describe it as citrus myself. It's really aggressive heat. Really, really aggressive. I was not expecting it to be quite that hot. The flavour reminds me a little bit more of like a mild yellow 7-pot flavour. Yeah, and I guess it is a little bit citrus mixed with a kind of citrus peel, lemony, or lemon flesh flavour. And now the heat's hitting my throat. And it's hitting it really hard. It is much hotter than I thought it was going to be. Already my vision's starting to go a little bit flashy, going a little bit purple. But the feeling you're getting off it is great. It's becoming very sweet. And those lemony flavours are becoming a lot more cartoony. What I mean by that is how, like, say you buy something that's lemon candy, it doesn't taste like an actual lemon does, but it tastes like the esters that you get from a lemon. And that's what I mean, the flavours are getting kind of cartoon lemon rather than actual lemon. And at the same time that I'm feeling that, I'm getting kind of cartoon melon rather than what melon actually tastes like. I know a lot of the pods I've tried recently, I've said they taste like melon. And they do. They taste like actual melon. This has got the flavour of the kind of artificial flavour melon that you flavour candy or ice cream with, you know. It's got that along with cartoon lemon flavour. Both of them are quite pleasant. The burn is very aggressive. It's hard to believe that this is only they go up to 400,000 Scovilles. Yeah, it's very hard to believe that. I don't believe that for a second. If I ate that upright, I'd think I'd eaten something kind of in very low, super hot territory. Something at least over 600,000, over 500,000. The flavours are subduing, becoming softer. And yeah, still very cartoony flavours to it. Artificial flavours, but in a natural form. I wouldn't agree they're... Having read descriptions saying that they're citrus, I probably wouldn't agree with that, actually. I tend to see citrus as something a bit sharper, a little bit more floral. This is not particularly floral. I find it sweet and fruity. But the burn on it is very, very aggressive. Overall though, brilliant chili. Um, the heat is starting to die down now pretty quickly. It's kind of ending up on my lips and the front of my tongue, which is a interesting progression, that it really attacked the side of my tongue, then my throat, and then it's just gone for my lips in the end. But yeah, brilliant chili. Definitely not to be underestimated. Some great aromas, flavours in it. I wish I'd had more success growing them this year, because I would quite like to cook a couple of dishes with them. But yeah, decent chili. So thanks a lot, Brendan, for giving me the pod for that. Yeah, and I'll wrap it up there. Cheers.